Michael Crosby here, candidate for office. I want to give you an election update on election law. Now, people know that I have, been disclosing various items. Well, some people would. And that there is mentionings of certain items pertaining to lawsuits, election law, etc. At this point in time, we have been producing documents for the filing of, we'll call it at this point, 7 large lawsuits. We've been processing these documents for more than 3 weeks at this point in time. We've been running into some basic areas of problems in which basically clerks, which are not allowed to give you legal advice, however, can comment and state, well, we would not accept certain documents in relation to that filing of that claim because they're not exactly the right form, exactly the right document. So therefore we have to go back over the arguments and reprocess documents to get the cases in the proper format for acceptance. More things on this basically because I'm a multi-candidate, because I am a federal candidate, a candidate for lieutenant governor, and a candidate for governor. Effectively, the amount of monies being brought in is in a state in which the state of California only requires, according to the Secretary of State, for disclosure of cash realized fundraising. Respectively, we have been bringing in assets into the state for processing. We do, in fact, accept assets. We work with assets. And at this point in time, in one way or another, through various sorts of partnerships or agreements, so forth, etc., and clearly taking into account any conflicts of interest, we have a section on that we have to deal with in many cases. And there's complexities to it that can be quite difficult. But effectively, we have probably more than $17 million in assets that have arrived that are ready for use. And so in many cases, this would mean liquidation. So as other candidates are running out of steam, dropping out of the race, my election participation is just beginning. And effectively, I would throw in an awful lot of money pertaining to legal relief that would come in. And in fact, there are serious questions at this point in time about the inhibiting of the election process by the state of California. And yes, Jerry's office is involved from the standpoint that there are allegations. The same with Newsom. We do have evidence at this point in time that indicates that they may in fact be impeding the election process. Now, if they are found in court to be impeding the election process, by election law, they would be disqualified as candidates. Of course, into all of this, people are going to wonder, there's a process in which at any given point in time, Jerry's office, Jerry can step forward, Gavin can step forward and say, we just realized something, we never knew it was there. Fire somebody and say, yeah, okay. And of course, they could also look back and say, well, actually somebody else changed the law and the procedures of how things were handled prior to us, or blah, blah, blah. And they can lay it off, bringing forth evidence in truth, and say, look, this is what we discovered. And at that point in time, they can move forward and say, okay, we want to start the process of relief in good faith. And that would move the election process forward. As things are going on right now, the entire election at this point is in jeopardy of being frozen by the cases that we are in the process of filing. Again, we have been producing documents for weeks. And there is complexities in the law for acceptance of certain documents, so we're working on making sure that the right documents are in place. But there also seems to be a problem because it seems that we have requested certain types of documentation and they don't exist. Or they're in certain type of form law only available in criminal cases. So it's confusing to run forward because we literally have a case where we're having to put things in front of a judge in a different prospect, because actually many of the charges that we have involve criminal activity of employees of the state of California. And yes, that means ultimately they, yes, are connected to Governor Brown and Lieutenant Governor Gavin, among other people. So when you have a candidate that is having his rights infringed in an election that's being affected by illegal activities of state employees, this is a serious matter. It's a very serious matter. So I wanted to give some form of update because at this point in time, I'm advised that discussing certain key items of evidence may not be considered appropriate to release to the public at this particular time. But I feel that I do owe it to the public. I owe it to the other candidates. And as far as other candidates go, I plan on doing some more talking with other candidates because there's some issues that concern other candidates as well. It's very important. And I'm into being thorough. So we still haven't got everything up on the table yet. And of course, some people ask me, so why are you running against Jerry? I says, well, yeah, I'm a Democrat. I'm running against Jerry. I'm running against Gavin because I don't feel they're going to do the right job. They have not assured me personally that they are going to adopt certain issues and move forward and undo injustices that were done to people. And I'm also a party in history that has run an archive. And archiving information involving people's civil rights for more than 35 years and archiving people's national security information and key research is important. I also archive scholarly material as well as some other various items or items that are currently in trust linked to my name that in fact are religious artifacts. And of course we literally have a situation where we have people in government violating federal law that are threatening to destroy an archive. Literally. You know, we're talking they are threatening to literally commit a crime against humanity. So we're moving forward. I wanted to give some information out as an update. And I'm actually very upset about this because all of these processes basically take away from my time where I am dedicated to be focusing on the election and the issues of the election. But I wanted to give the people some updates and understand where things currently are because right now I'm going to have to deal with a lot of other issues and a bunch of legalism that quite frankly is robbing my time and away from the election process. So I am upset about that. Again, Michael Crosby, running for office, California, and declared candidate for the White House. Thank you very much.